Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. Now, once again, talking about the Caterpillar. Don't worry, we're not going to do the whole Big Benny's thing. I'm just kind of using a little bit of this older footage to just kind of get the intro. There's a bunch of shit that I've been experimenting with on the Caterpillar. Namely different weapons, some stuff that I was experimenting with, and just some shit that I was trying in the game. And so I just kind of wanted to share all of that and then discuss the ship itself and crewing the ship in the future, because there was a suggestion on the last ship updates that I should crew my ship from the viewers of this channel. And well, I believe a while ago I actually said that that was kind of the plan, and that was kind of one of the motivations behind creating this channel, is to kind of attract some people to crew my ships. But before we get into any of that, I'm going to kind of show off some of the stuff. Now, the turrets, of course, aren't that hefty, so I tried switching them over to the Apocalypse Revenant, or Apocalypse, there it is, the Apocalypse Arms Revenant. But unfortunately, this weapon has, well, its ammunition capacity is slightly humorous in that in this second weapons test here, you're gonna see just how terrible it is in terms of capacity. Here I am in the lower turret. This is the entire can of ammo right here. Switch to the second box and done. That's it. That's all the ammo those guns carry. I'm going to kind of go out on a limb here, but I kind of think that the Caterpillar can carry more ammo than that. Just saying. Just slight suggestion. Now, of course, after I ran out of ammunition, I realized I was going to have to dock and reload it, so I kind of had to experiment with some precision docking maneuvers. And to be perfectly honest, if you own a ship that's this big, I found that it was far easier to fly this ship in certain respects in the third person. In terms of docking it and all that, I just found it was easier. I mean, if you're using auto docking, then I guess it's not that big a deal. But even then, there's one thing that is almost universal to just about every ship in Star Citizen, and that is the cockpit view is not the best. And, that's something that, for me, I mean, at least goes all the way back to Privateer. I mean, the original ship that you got in Privateer, the Tarsus, had a horrific cockpit view. And, frankly, things have not really gotten that much better, with the exception of a few ships. Now, here I am kind of guiding it down onto the launching platform. And it really wasn't that expensive to reload this ship. I mean, reasonably, if you're going out and you're making cash, then it's not going to be that big of a deal to operate the ship, at least in the baby PU right now. I mean, there's a lot of things that, when they come online, the ship will probably be a lot more expensive to run, but overall, yeah, not that big a deal to run this ship, as you can see.
Stand by. Restocking ammunition.
But this is one of the problems that I have with the view, is that the internal side of the glass seems to pick up all these reflections from inside of the cockpit, and that is kind of a bummer, and that's something that I'm not sure that a lot of the ships have, but for me, this ship, I've noticed it the most. It really stands out. I've seen it before, back in the old days. In the 1.0 versions, there was a point with the M50 where the internal side of the glass in the cockpit, if you were playing on we call it Laser Planet, but the broken moon, when you got the big atmosphere changers shooting the lasers down onto the planet. If you were playing on that map and you caught the sun in the wrong angle, you essentially just could not see out of your cockpit at one point, and it seems that this ship certainly suffers from that. But it's still, I mean, flying it from third person, no real loss there, because that's one of the things that I like, because you can finally see all this beautiful artwork, and you're not just limited to, these cockpit views that kind of make you go like, oh, jeez, really? Like, oh, look, here's all the instrumentation I can't read. Here's the cockpit glass I can't see out of, like, depending on how it catches the light. I'm sure this is something that's going to get fixed down the road. It was just, damn. It was pretty brutal. But yeah, you know what? I had a lot of fun with this. And just, even going back, and I mean, look, we've all played the PU, and the difference between 2.6 and 2.5 is, frame rates, at least on my end, went way up. The gameplay is a lot more stable. There's still a lot of the same bugs, like my pistol has somehow inherited the iron sights off of my submachine gun. That's kind of irritating. This is, I went to the Covalex shipping hub, and I decided that I was going to steal some stuff, and I just wanted to see. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but just in the off chance that between 2.5 and 2.6 something changed, I wanted to steal some crates from the Covalex shipping hub, and then see if they would stay in my ship. I didn't think that it was that big of a deal. And nobody, strangely enough, nobody was messing with me in the last couple of days of playing this game. Nobody at all. Like, nobody was chasing me down. So I don't know. Maybe I've just been lucky this time around. So I'm kind of maneuvering the ship in, because what I want to do is I want to put one of the bay doors on the side as close to or right up to that window as I can, so that way when I'm pushing crates out the window, they more or less go right onto my ship. But of course, the wing on the other side and the pod on this side, it makes it a little difficult to line those up, because there's other features on the station, as you can see, that kind of make that difficult. So I'm trying to maneuver it in and get it just right. And that's kind of one of the things. I should have probably just put it into precision mode, but I don't know. I think at some point I kind of learned to put it in precision mode, but even then it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. So I think I'm getting close now. Yeah, and I hop out and I hop into to open up the bay door. Let's see here. So I think I open up the second one. I go bypass the first and go to the second. Nope, wrong. There you go. And that's one of the things I really like. I mean, that's one of the things that's really impressive, is that so much of this does work. I mean, there are some little hiccups. I mean, the bottom turret is pretty much useless. It's, you get into it and it's just like, okay, now I'm looking at the internals of the ship. But I have a feeling that that's something that's going to be fixed relatively soonish. The only question I have is whether or not, 3.0 is just going to encompass all these fixes, or if we're going to get a few little mini patches here and there in between. Maybe even throw in some ships, That would be great. But here I am. I'm moving up to dock next to the door. Now, if you're thinking, well, why didn't you just use the front of your ship to dock into the door? Well, there's a little bit of a bug with the front of the ship. So here we are. This is actually from a previous attempt to steal stuff. And dead. Yeah. So the front of the Caterpillar, on and off, can be a little bit deadly. And, okay, maybe it's just a one-off, right? Maybe this is just something that doesn't happen all that often. No. No, this is something that just kind of happens all the time. Oh, here we go. Got the crate on. Good. Let's just quiet. No. No. So the front of the ship is kind of, yeah, it's kind of, if you're going to float into it, pretty much useless at this point. So hopefully there'll be a little micro patch and we can go ahead and get that fixed. But in the meantime, let's go back to this. So I'm kind of parking up, and once again, I'm using, third person to kind of line the ship up as best I can with that door. And I actually did a better parking job this time than the first time. The first time I was a little off center. Oh, down a little. Down. Down, down, down. Come on. Down. There you go. I think I slide it just a little bit more towards the station, and nope, that's it. That's good. But yeah, I went into the station and I stole some crates and stole a Big Benny's machine. But unfortunately, when I got it all back to Port Olisar, the game crashed. So I don't know. I wasn't in the mood to go and try and do all that stuff again. You know what? I'll come back to this later. But yeah, it was cool to kind of mess around with this stuff and do this. But once again, this is stuff that we've all done before. And that kind of brings me to the point of crewing the ship. Now, of course, that was kind of the secondary motivation behind creating this channel, was to gather some like-minded... face first into the deck plate. Give myself a moment to recover. Okay, there we go. Ready to go? Yeah, all right. All right, back to work. But yeah, so that was kind of the motivation, one of the motivations was, of course, to crew my ship. Now, in the meantime, I have become part of an org, and so obviously people who crew my ship would have to be members of my org, right? Just for the sake of the verification and, weeding out of undesirable individuals or people who might, prove to be socially difficult and not able to play well with others. That's kind of the great thing of being in an org. Since I don't handle recruitment, I don't have to deal with that. Say, hey, yeah, go join the org and just see if you get in. It's kind of a dick move, but yeah, it still works out for me, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I've been kind of thinking about how I want everything set up. Obviously, you probably want a few people who would go in with heavy armor, a couple of medics, some people to operate the ship. And so, yeah, these are all things that I'm thinking about, but see, the problem is that once again, there's the amazing vanishing crate as well. One of my crates, disappeared, and later on, I think I cut it out as footage, but it's just out floating by one of the wingtips of my ship. And there's the Big Benny's machine. Don't worry, I won't make you guys listen to that music again. But it was kind of cool to get it, but it landed on its face, so I had to kind of bounce it around a few times to get it to, at least show the face of the machine. Whoops. No, wrong switch. There you go. So here I am just kind of bouncing it around. But yeah, so that's definitely a goal, to find some like-minded individuals and run this ship with. I'm kind of thinking that it would probably be better all around to recruit people who maybe can't afford larger ships, who just might want to accelerate their income, so to speak, and fly on a bigger ship that's capable of doing more. But, that's something to work out into the future. I don't foresee myself really getting serious with something like that until 3.0. By all means, if someone out there wants to join up and wants to get involved. I mostly play Star Citizen on Saturdays, at least socially speaking. Sometimes I get on during the week just to test things out and move things around. But you know, I'll put the link to my org's recruitment thread. Feel free to read the information, and if you want, drop an application, and who knows, maybe you'll be joining my crew. One quick thing before I go, though. If this becomes a thing, and I'm kind of pestering Ben Lesnick on Twitter, I'm starting to pester him on Twitter now to get something put in game, but if it actually becomes a thing, I'm definitely going to need somebody to stand out on the front loading area of my Caterpillar, you know, obviously when it's fixed and it's safer, and play flame guitar like this. Now, of course, that position would be more leaning towards berserker / ship's morale officer, or, you know, something to motivate the troops, something to get people all charged up. So I don't know if that actually does become a thing. I am definitely going to be looking for a flame guitar player for my ship. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.